Divorced men. What happened when your ex-wife saw you bought your dream car? Story 1. I didn't post the car. I didn't flex. I just drove it. My dream car, the one she used to call a midlife crisis on wheels, to the grocery store because my old sedan finally died. When I came out, there she was, leaning against the cart return like it was a photo shoot. Tara, my ex-wife, sunglasses, perfect hair, and that smile that only ever showed up when she wanted something. "Wow," she said, drawing the word out. "So you're doing well?" I nodded, unlocking the door. "I'm doing peaceful." She laughed like I'd told a joke. "Don't be weird. I'm happy for you." Then she lowered her voice. "But how?" Here's the thing. The car wasn't a lottery win. It was a my life finally stopped bleeding money win. No more paying for her impulsive business ideas. No more emergency spa memberships. No more surprise vacations on my credit card. Turns out, when you stop financing someone else's chaos, dreams get affordable. She slid closer. "You know, I've been thinking, we were good together. We could have had this together." I looked at the passenger seat. Empty. Clean. No crumbs, no arguments, no guilt. "I have it," I said. "Just not with you." Her smile cracked. "So you're punishing me?" "No," I replied, climbing in. "I'm finally rewarding myself." As I backed out, I caught her reflection in my mirror, standing there, frozen, like she'd just realized the dream car wasn't the flex. It was the receipt. Story 2. I bought my dream car the same day the divorce finalized. Not to celebrate, more like a promise to myself. You don't have to beg for joy anymore. 2 weeks later, my sister convinced me to attend our nephew's birthday party. "She'll be there," my sister warned, "but don't let her ruin it." I pulled up late, parking down the street. The engine purred like therapy. The second I stepped out, heads turned. Then I heard it. My ex-wife, Marlene. Too loud on purpose. "Oh my God. Is that yours?" She practically jogged across the lawn, heels sinking into grass, smile stretched tight. Kids screamed on a bouncy castle behind her like background chaos to the main event. Her. "You bought it?" she said, eyes scanning the paint, the rims, the interior, like she was appraising jewelry. "I knew you'd eventually become someone." I kept my voice neutral. "I became someone when I stopped being treated like nobody." Her laugh was sharp. "Come on. Don't start. This is, wow. You always said you wanted one, and you always said it was stupid," I reminded her. Her face did that flicker, old habit of rewriting history. "I said it wasn't the right time. We had responsibilities." Meaning, I had expensive tastes. Then she dropped her voice into that familiar, "we're still a team" tone. "So, listen, I'm in a tough spot. My car's transmission." I raised a hand. "Stop," she blinked. "What?" "I'm not your husband. I'm not your safety net. I'm not your tough spot solution." Marlene's eyes hardened. "So you buy a fancy car and now you think you're better than me?" "No," I said, walking past her toward the party. "I just think I'm done paying to be disrespected." Behind me, I heard her hiss. Unbelievable. Like I was the one who changed. Maybe I did. Story 3. My ex-wife didn't see the car first. She saw the keys. I was at the dealership signing paperwork when my phone lit up with her name. "Do you have a minute?" she asked, voice soft. Too soft. The kind she used right before she'd asked me to co-sign something dumb. "We're not married," I said. "So no." She sighed dramatically. "I'm not calling for money." That made me laugh. "Then why are you calling?" I heard you got a new car." I looked at the salesman, who was smiling like he'd never been emotionally traumatized by a marriage. "Who told you?" "Does it matter?" she snapped, dropping the softness. "Are you really buying your dream car when you still owe me?" I cut her off. "I don't owe you anything." The court was pretty clear. Silence. Then, "So you can afford that, but you couldn't afford couples therapy?" There it was. The rewrite. The blame shift. Like I hadn't begged her to stop calling me boring for wanting weekends at home. Like she hadn't told me she deserved a man with ambition while spending my paycheck like it was a sport. "I could afford therapy," I said calmly. "You just didn't want a marriage. You wanted a sponsor." Her inhale was sharp. "Wow, so this is what you think of me?" "It's what I learned," I replied. When I hung up, the salesman handed me the keys and said, "Congratulations." My hands actually shook. Not from excitement, from relief. Later that night, I drove past our old neighborhood without thinking. At a red light, I glanced over. And there she was, in her dented SUV, staring at my car like it was a ghost. She mouthed, "Are you kidding me?" I smiled politely and drove off when the light turned green. For once, I didn't look back. Story 4. I wasn't trying to run into her. I was trying to get my oil changed. But the universe has jokes. I pulled into the service bay, and there she was, Sasha, sitting in the waiting area with a latte and a look that said she still believed she owned my time. She noticed the car immediately. My dream car. Matte finish. Low rumble. Everything I'd wanted since college. Her jaw dropped. That's yours? I handed the keys to the mechanic. Yep, she stood up, walking a slow circle around it like she was inspecting a rival. I don't get it. You were always so financially stressed with me, I almost choked. With you, yes. She ignored that. So you're doing this to prove something? No, I said, sitting down. I'm doing this because I can. She leaned closer, voice syrupy. You know, I've changed. I've been going to therapy. I'm not the person I was. I stared at her. The person you were is the one who left because I wasn't exciting enough, then tried to come back when your boyfriend wasn't serious. Her cheeks flushed. That's not fair. Oh? I pointed at the car. You mocked this dream. You mocked me for having it. And now you're here acting like you're proud. She opened her mouth, then closed it, recalculating. Then, like clockwork, she tried the classic move. We should talk. Maybe dinner. Catch up. I smiled. Not cruelly. Just done. Sasha. I bought the car because I finally stopped buying your excuses. She slapped her latte on the table so hard the lid popped. Heads turned. You think you're so much better, she snapped. I stayed seated. No. I think I'm finally free. The mechanic called my name. As I stood up, she hissed, You'll regret this. I walked out, keys in hand, and said over my shoulder, I already regretted you. That's why we divorced. Her silence was louder than any engine. Story 5. I bought my dream car after a year of saying no to everyone, including myself. No to dating. No to distractions. No to anything that felt like a shortcut back into pain. The first time my ex-wife saw it was at our daughter's school pickup. I arrived early, parked at the curb. Kids spilled out like confetti. Parents waved. Then I saw her, Vanessa, walking toward me with that, I'm still the main character stride. She stopped dead when she noticed the car. Her eyes widened like she'd spotted an alternate timeline. Oh my God, she breathed. You bought it. Our daughter climbed into the passenger seat, beaming. Mom! Dad let me pick the color. Vanessa's smile twitched. That's great, she said. But she wasn't looking at our kid. She was looking at me. Like she was trying to locate the version of me she'd left behind, the exhausted one who apologized for breathing too loudly. She stepped closer to my window. So, you're rich now? I laughed. No, I'm just not married anymore. Her face tightened. Wow, cute. Then she did something I didn't expect. She whispered, you weren't supposed to upgrade. That hit harder than any insult she'd ever thrown at me. Because it was honest. She hadn't wanted me happy. She'd wanted me available, waiting. As proof that leaving me was the right decision, I leaned toward the window, keeping my voice low so our daughter wouldn't hear. You didn't lose me because of the divorce, I said. You lost me because you thought I'd never become someone you'd envy. Her eyes flashed with anger, then panic. So what, you're saying this is revenge? I shook my head and put the car in gear. No, Vanessa. This is recovery. As we pulled away, I saw her standing in the crosswalk, phone in hand, staring at my taillights like they'd stolen something from her. Maybe they had. Her favorite story, me failing without her, was officially over story 6. I didn't even realize she was behind me until I heard the horn. 3 quick taps, like she still had the right to get my attention. I was at a red light, hands on the wheel of the dream car I'd wanted since I was 19. Not a look-at-me purchase. A you survived purchase. I glanced in the mirror and saw her SUV, the one I used to fix every winter. Her face was right there, furious and confused, like the universe had personally betrayed her. She pulled up beside me the second the light changed and rolled her window down. Are you serious? I rolled mine halfway. Hi, Dana. You bought that? Her eyes did the full scan. Logo, rims, interior. With what money? I smiled. The money I stopped spending on your manifestation courses and your business retreats. She flinched like I'd slapped her. So you're still bitter? No, I said, calm. I'm finally honest. She laughed, but it sounded wet. You're trying to make me jealous. I looked forward at the road. You're the one chasing me at a traffic light. A guy in the crosswalk turned to stare. Dana's cheeks flushed. Pull over. We need to talk. I'm on my way to pick up my nephew, I said. You know, the kid you called not my problem? Her mouth opened and closed. Then she threw the last grenade she had. I carried you. Without me, you'd be nothing. I nodded slowly. And yet here you are, watching me drive away. The light turned green again. I didn't race. I didn't rev. I just went. Steady, quiet, done. In the mirror, she stayed at the intersection like someone who'd missed the point of the whole movie. Story 7. My ex-wife saw the car in the most humiliating way possible, through someone else's Instagram story. It was my cousin's wedding. I wasn't even planning to go, but my mom guilted me into it. I showed up alone, parked my dream car far from the entrance because I didn't want attention. I should have known better. Weddings are basically gossip conventions with cake. Halfway through the reception, my phone buzzed. Vanessa. One message. A screenshot. It was a video. Me walking in, suit on, laughing at something. Behind me, the valet handing me my keys. Her caption was already typed under it. So you had money this whole time? I replied with one word. No. She called instantly. I didn't pick up. She called again. I stepped outside to breathe. And she was already there, in the parking lot, like she'd teleported out of spite. She pointed at the car like it had personally insulted her. Explain. I saved, I said. I worked. I stopped paying for your brother's temporary rent. I stopped covering your mom's emergencies. I stopped living like my paycheck belonged to your family. Her eyes got glossy fast, the performance tears. So now you're blaming me for helping people? I laughed. You didn't help people. You offered me. Her voice sharpened. I should be the one sitting in that passenger seat. That one made my skin crawl. Not because it hurt. Because it reminded me how she saw marriage. A seat assignment. No, I said. The passenger seat is for someone who doesn't treat me like a wallet. She stepped closer. So you have someone? I didn't answer. I just unlocked the car. The interior light came on and showed the truth. It was empty. Peacefully empty. Her face twisted anyway. You're doing this to punish me. I leaned in. You punished yourself when you left the man who would have done anything for you. Then I drove back into the wedding, parked in the same spot, and danced with my aunt like my life didn't revolve around her mood anymore. She stood outside watching through the glass doors. And for once, she was the one looking in. Story 8. I bought my dream car on a Tuesday morning because that's when the dealership had the best financing. Romantic, right? 2 days later, my ex-wife found out in court. Not divorce court, small claims. She was suing me for a loan she claimed she'd given me during our marriage. Except it wasn't a loan. It was my own money, moved between accounts because she loved organizing finances like it was a hobby. We were waiting in the hallway when she saw my key fob. She stared at it like it was a weapon. Is that? She whispered. I didn't respond. I didn't want to feed it. She stepped closer anyway, voice rising. You bought your dream car, but you can't pay me back? The bailiff actually looked over. I shrugged. I can pay back loans, not fantasies. Her face went bright red. You're a liar. You always hid money from me. I finally met her eyes. I hid money? Or I kept us from going bankrupt every time you got bored and decided we needed a fresh start in another city? She snapped. You made me feel small. I couldn't help it. I laughed, short and sharp. You made me feel small. You treated my goals like jokes. Remember when I had a photo of this car on my phone and you told me to delete it because it was embarrassing? The judge called us in. She strutted ahead like she was about to win. The whole case lasted 8 minutes. The judge asked for proof. She had none. I had bank statements and texts. The judge dismissed it. Outside, she hissed, "So this is it? You're just going to upgrade and pretend I never existed?" I clicked the key fob. My car chirped. It sounded like closure. I'm not pretending, I said. I'm moving on. She watched me walk away, and I swear, her anger wasn't about the lawsuit. It was about the fact that she'd tried to squeeze one last victory out of me and instead got front row seats to my peace. Story 9. My ex-wife saw my dream car outside the restaurant where she was having a work dinner. I know because I was having a work dinner too. Same place, different table, different life. I didn't notice her until my coworker said, "Dude, is that your ex staring at us?" I looked up. There she was by the bar, frozen mid-laugh. Her date, some guy in a tight blazer, followed her gaze, then looked at the car keys on my table. She walked over like gravity pulled her. "Hi," she said, voice too sweet. "I didn't know you came here." "I didn't know you did," I replied. Her eyes went to the keys. "New car?" I nodded. "New chapter." She tried to laugh. "Is it your dream car?" My coworker choked on his drink. I kept my face neutral. "Yeah?" Her date stepped closer, curious. "That yours?" "Nice," she snapped at him without looking. "I'm talking." Then she turned back to me, eyes glossy. "So you can afford that now, but you couldn't afford to..." "To what?" I cut in. "To keep paying for your lifestyle while you told your friends I was too basic?" The bar went quiet around us like people smell drama, the way sharks smell blood. She lowered her voice. "You're humiliating me." "No," I said softly. "You walked over here to measure yourself against my peace. That's on you." Her date cleared his throat. "Babe, maybe we should..." She spun on him. "Don't call me babe." My coworker raised his eyebrows like he'd paid for a show and got VIP seats. I stood up, grabbed my keys, and offered her something I'd never offered during our marriage. A boundary. I hope you find what you're looking for, I said, but it won't be in my passenger seat. As I walked out, I heard her date mutter, "So that's your ex?" And she hissed back, "Shut up." When my engine started, the sound wasn't loud, but it was final. Story 10. I bought my dream car after my promotion went through. Not because I needed it, because for the first time in years, I wasn't scared to want something. My ex-wife saw it at my dad's birthday party. Classic. She arrived late, dressed like she was going to a nightclub, not a family barbecue. The moment she stepped into the driveway, she stopped like she'd hit an invisible wall. "That's yours?" she asked, pointing. My dad, bless him, grinned. "Yep. Our boy finally got the car he's been talking about since he was a teenager." Her smile froze. She looked at me like I'd broken a rule. "Since when do you have money for that?" My aunt, who never liked her, snorted. "Since he stopped paying for someone else's spending habits." My ex's eyes flicked to her, then back to me. "So you're letting them talk about me like that?" I took a sip of soda. "You used to talk about me like that in front of them." She stepped closer, voice low. "You're turning them against me." "No," I said. "You did that when you left and told everyone I was emotionally unavailable, while you were already texting your coworker." Her face went pale. "That was one time," my cousin's husband muttered. "Sure," under his breath. She looked around and realized something terrifying. Nobody was on her side anymore. Not because I campaigned, because time exposed her. Then she tried to grab my arm. "We need to talk." Privately, I gently pulled away. "We're not a we anymore." Her voice shook. "So what? You just get to glow up and I'm the villain?" My dad stepped between us like a wall. "You're not the villain, honey," he said, polite but cold. "You're just not family anymore." That sentence hit harder than any rev of an engine. She stared at the car, then at me, like she was trying to bargain with reality. Then she walked back to her car without saying goodbye to anyone. My little niece ran up and asked, "Can we sit in it?" I smiled and opened the passenger door. "Yeah," I said. "Hop in." And in the reflection of the window, I saw what she saw. A life moving forward without her permission. Story 11. I bought my dream car after 6 months of sleeping on a futon in a one-bedroom apartment that smelled like fresh paint and freedom. The first time my ex-wife saw it, she didn't see me. She saw the price tag in her head. It happened at a gas station. I was wiping the windshield when a white SUV rolled in behind me. I heard the door slam hard, then the familiar heels. "Ethan." Her voice had that sharp surprise, like she'd found a coupon for a life she thought she'd thrown away. "That's yours?" I didn't answer right away. I finished the windshield like my peace depended on it. Then I looked up. "Hi, Kayla." She circled the car slowly, pretending to admire it while her eyes hunted for flaws. "So you're doing fine." "Better than fine," I said. "I'm stable." Her smile twitched. "Must be nice. Some of us are dealing with real life." I almost laughed. This was the woman who used to call my budget spreadsheets control issues while she ordered furniture we couldn't afford. She leaned in. "So, did you get some big payout? New girlfriend with money?" "No," I said. "I stopped paying for chaos. That's all." Her face hardened. "Wow, so you're calling me chaos." I clicked the pump handle back into place. "If you don't like the word, you should have hated the behavior." Her eyes went watery fast, the way they always did when she wanted the conversation to turn into my fault. "You're acting like I ruined you." I shrugged. "You didn't ruin me. You just delayed me." That landed. I saw it land. She stared at the emblem on the hood like it could answer her. Then her phone rang. She glanced at the screen and flinched, then forced a laugh. "Anyway, good for you." She walked back to her SUV and drove off like she was late to a life she didn't want. I watched her taillights disappear and realized something. Buying the car wasn't the win. Not needing her reaction was. Story 12. My ex-wife saw my dream car at the worst possible time. For her. We were at our son's parent-teacher conference. I got there early because I actually wanted to hear what the teacher said instead of treating it like a chore. I parked, checked my notes, and waited. Then she pulled in, saw the car, and stopped in the middle of the lot like she'd been hit by a flashbang. "No way," she whispered, loud enough for two moms nearby to turn. She marched up to my window before I could even get out. "You bought that? Are you kidding me?" "Hi, Morgan," I said calmly. "It's good to see you too." She pointed at the car like it was evidence. "You told me we couldn't afford this kind of thing." "I told you we couldn't afford it and you're spending," I corrected. Her face tightened. "Don't do that." "Not here." But she did that thing she always did. Talked over me, like volume was a legal argument. "So you're just rich now?" Meanwhile, I'm drowning in expenses. I nodded toward the school entrance. "We're here for our kid," she hissed. "Our kid needs braces." "You buy a sports car." I looked her dead in the eye. "I pay my share. On time. Every month. You know what else I don't do anymore? Pay your credit card minimums because you forgot." Her mouth opened and closed. Behind her, the teacher walked out, clipboard in hand, and paused because she could feel the tension. Morgan snapped her head around, smile instantly plastered on. Oh, hi. Sorry, just catching up. The teacher's eyes flicked to me like, are you okay? I gave a small nod. After the meeting, Morgan followed me to the parking lot, voice trembling with rage. You love embarrassing me. No, I said. You love scenes. I just stopped playing my role in them. She stepped close, whispering like she was offering a deal. If you help me with my bills, I won't take you back to court. I laughed. One sharp sound. That's your best version of romance? Her expression fell apart. I hate you. I unlocked my car. You don't. You hate that I stopped needing you. Story 13. The dream car was supposed to be a private milestone. Then my ex-wife turned it into a public trial. My buddy invited me to a charity poker night. Small venue, decent people, snacks that tasted like guilt. I pulled up, parked, walked in. 10 minutes later, the door swung open and the room got colder. She was there. My ex, Lydia. She didn't know it was my car outside until someone at the door said, "Whoever owns that thing out front." Nice. Her head snapped toward me. She crossed the room like she was on a mission, smile sharp enough to cut glass. So this is what you've been doing. I blinked. Playing poker? She pointed past the window. The car. People were watching now. That's the thing about divorce. Everyone loves a sequel. Lydia leaned in, voice loud. You said you were broke. I said I was broke when I was married, I replied. A few people coughed, pretending not to laugh. Her eyes flared. She tried a softer tone. Okay, fine. Congratulations. But you know you still owe me, right? For the years I supported you, I stared. You supported me? She nodded, confident, like she'd rehearsed it, emotionally. Socially. I made you who you are. That was so delusional I almost admired it. You didn't build me, I said. You just kept remodeling me into someone you could control. Her smile collapsed. You're ungrateful. I stood up, chips untouched. Lydia, you cheated, blamed me, then told people I was abusive because I asked where you were at 2 a.m. The room went silent in a way that felt heavy. Her face went pale. Why would you say that here? I shrugged. Why would you bring this here? For a second, she looked like she might cry. Then she did what she always did, went for the kill. Enjoy your car. You'll always be alone. I didn't raise my voice. Maybe, but I won't be lonely. Then I walked out, and as I unlocked my dream car, I heard someone inside whisper, damn, like they'd just watched the villain get written out of the script. Story 14. My ex-wife saw my dream car at my new job's parking lot because she was there for an interview. That's right. After divorcing me and telling everyone my career was mediocre, she applied at the company that promoted me. I parked, and the moment I stepped out, I saw her standing near the entrance, clutching a folder like it was armor. Her eyes slid from the car to me, and her face did that slow, stunned recalculation. Are you kidding me? She whispered. I kept walking. Morning, Tessa. She rushed to catch up. You work here? Yes, I said. I told you that. You said cute. Her cheeks flushed. And the car is mine. She blinked rapidly like she was buffering. So you're successful now? I was successful then, I said. You just couldn't monetize it fast enough? We hit the lobby where people were wearing badges and carrying coffee like adults. Tessa lowered her voice. I need this job. I nodded. Okay. She grabbed my sleeve. Please don't say anything. Don't ruin this for me. I gently removed her hand. I'm not you. I don't sabotage people to feel important. Her eyes flashed with anger. So you are going to punish me? No, I said, tapping my badge at the gate. I'm going to live. She stopped me one more time, voice cracking. You bought the car we talked about. You remember? I looked at her. Really looked. I remember you laughing at it. Her face softened, just a little. I was scared. I thought you'd leave me behind. I gave a small, sad smile. You left first. Then the elevator doors opened and my coworkers greeted me by name. Tessa watched that happen. Watched me belong somewhere, like it was the part of the story she'd been certain she'd get. Her interview started at 9. Mine didn't end until I decided it did. Story 15. The first time my ex-wife saw my dream car, she didn't say congratulations. She said, whose is it? It was at our daughter's dance recital. Packed parking lot, parents rushing, kids in glitter. I pulled in carefully, parked, and stepped out. My daughter squealed, Dad, you brought it, like it was a mascot. Then my ex-wife, Rena, appeared with her new boyfriend. He was wearing a watch that looked expensive and a smile that looked rented. Rena froze when she saw the car. Her boyfriend's eyes lit up. Nice ride. Rena ignored him. Be honest. Is that yours? Yep, I said, holding out my hand for our daughter's costume bag. Rena's smile was thin. So you're trying to impress people now? I laughed. I'm trying to get to the recital on time. Her boyfriend chuckled awkwardly like he wanted out of the scene. Rena snapped at him with her eyes, then leaned closer to me. You're making me look bad. That sentence, so honest, so ugly, made my stomach flip. At your kid's recital, you're thinking about you? She glared. Don't twist this. I'm not twisting anything, I said. I'm just finally hearing you clearly. She tried to recover, voice sweet for the nearby moms. Well, good for you. I guess you didn't need me after all. Our daughter tugged my sleeve. Dad, can I sit in it after? Of course, I said, smiling at her. Rena's eyes went sharp. No. She's not going to get used to... To what? I interrupted, still calm. To seeing her dad happy? Her boyfriend shifted, uncomfortable. A mom nearby whispered, Yikes, like she'd just watched someone step on a puppy. Rena's face flushed. You think this proves something? I opened the door for my daughter and let her climb in for a second, just to hear her little gasp of joy. Then I looked at Rena. It doesn't prove I'm better, I said. It proves I'm back. Her jaw clenched like she wanted a comeback. But the recital doors were opening and people were flowing in. She couldn't make a scene without witnesses. So she did the only thing she could. She smiled like everything was fine, and followed us inside with jealousy sitting on her tongue like Poison Story 16. I bought my dream car and told exactly 2 people, my mechanic and my daughter. Everyone else found out the way gossip travels. Fast, loud, and mean. I pulled into my old neighborhood to drop off a box of childhood photos at my mom's. The second the engine quieted, I saw curtains twitch. Then the front door of my ex-wife's townhouse swung open like it was attached to an alarm. Nina stepped out in leggings and rage. Are you kidding me? She shouted across the cul-de-sac. I looked around. Neighbors were suddenly checking mail. A kid froze mid-scooter. I kept my voice calm. Hi, Nina. She marched up, eyes locked on the hood like it was a rival. You told me you couldn't afford vacations, but you can afford this? I told you I couldn't afford vacations for you and your boyfriend, I said without thinking. Her face snapped. Excuse me? Oops. I hadn't known she'd kept that quiet. Behind her, her current guy stepped out. Older, smug, and stopped when he heard the words. What boyfriend? He asked, confused. Nina's mouth opened, then closed. She spun too fast. He's lying. I shrugged, still leaning against my car. Want me to read the messages? Don't worry. He'll never leave. That you? Her boyfriend's expression went from confused to cold. Nina. She tried to grab my arm. Stop. Don't do this here. I gently pulled away. You did it there. In my marriage. Her boyfriend walked back inside without another word. Nina's eyes went glossy like she could cry on command, but her voice came out sharp. You bought this to humiliate me. I smiled, small and tired. No. You just happened to be standing where my life passed by. Then her front door slammed so hard the wreath fell off. Every neighbor pretended not to smile. I got back in my dream car and drove away while she stood in the driveway, alone, staring at the wreckage of her own script. Story 17. The first time my ex-wife saw my dream car, she tried to claim it like it was a lost item at a school office. It was at our son's soccer game. I parked far away because I didn't want attention. Then I heard a familiar voice behind me. Oh my God, you finally got one. Chelsea walked up with her friend group like backup dancers. She wore that same I'm the prize grin she had when she walked out of our marriage. Her friend squealed. This is his? That's insane. Chelsea ran her hand along the door like she owned the paint. You know, technically, since we were married when you started saving, I laughed, loud enough that 2 dads looked over. We weren't. I started saving after I stopped paying your self-discovery bills. Her smile tightened. Don't be dramatic. She leaned closer, lowering her voice like a threat disguised as flirting. If you don't want problems, be nice. I still know things. I could talk. I blinked. Talk about what? She smirked. About you. About how you treated me. And that's when her friend, trying to be helpful, blurted, Chelsea, didn't you tell us he was controlling because he didn't let you go to Miami with your boss? Chelsea's head snapped. Her friend realized too late what she'd said and slapped a hand over her mouth. My stomach dropped. Miami with your boss? Chelsea's eyes widened for half a second. Pure panic. Then she recovered. It was work. I nodded slowly. So that's why you needed a divorce for freedom. Her face went red. You're twisting. A man's voice cut in behind her. Chelsea, her new boyfriend, who'd been sitting in the bleachers, stood up. He walked over, eyes darting between us. What's Miami? Chelsea's lips parted, but no sound came out. The soccer whistle blew like a soundtrack to the moment. I clicked my keys, the car chirped, and I leaned in just enough for her to hear. If you want to talk, Chelsea, make sure you remember your own story. Then I walked toward the field while her new boyfriend started asking questions she couldn't dodge, and her friends suddenly found the grass very interesting. Story 18. She didn't recognize me at first. She recognized the car. I was in line at a drive-thru, just trying to get coffee, when the car behind me honked. One long blast. I glanced in the mirror and saw my ex-wife, Paige, leaning out her window like she was about to scold a teenager. She whipped around the building and cut the line, pulling up beside me. "What is that?" she demanded, pointing like I'd stolen it. "Morning," I said, sipping calmly. Her eyes narrowed. "So you're pretending you're rich now?" "Paige," I sighed. "It's a car." "No," she snapped. "It's a message." The barista leaned out the window, confused. Sir?" Paige raised her voice. "Tell him he can't cut the line." I deadpanned. "She cut the line." The barista blinked. "Ma'am, you did." Paige's face tightened. Then she did what she always did. Tried to drag strangers into our war. "He abandoned me, and now he's flaunting—" I interrupted, still calm. "She left, and she took the dog. And she tried to take my tools. The car is just new." The barista's eyes widened in that I did not sign up for this way. A guy in the next car held up his phone like he was filming. Paige noticed. Her tone changed instantly, syrupy. "Okay, babe, don't do this. We can talk." I laughed. "Don't call me that." Her smile cracked. "So you have someone else?" "That's what you hear?" I said. "Not I'm done?" She slammed her hand on her steering wheel. "You're punishing me." The barista handed me my coffee. "Here you go. Good luck." I took it, nodded a thank you, then looked at Paige. "You want the truth? The dream car isn't to impress you. It's to remind me I'm not trapped anymore." Paige opened her mouth to scream something, but the guy filming said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Ma'am, you literally cut the line." A couple of cars honked. Paige went white with embarrassment. I drove off slow, coffee in hand, and in my rearview mirror she sat there stuck between two cars with nowhere to go, like karma had finally learned traffic rules. Story 19. My ex-wife saw my dream car because she tried to vandalize it. I'd parked outside my gym for exactly 9 minutes. Enough time to sign in and realize I forgot my water bottle. When I came back out, I saw someone crouched by my front tire, hoodie up, hand moving fast. For half a second, my brain didn't connect. Then she stood up and I saw the face I used to apologize to. "Rachel?" I said. She froze, hand behind her back. I walked closer and saw the tiny silver object in her fingers. A key. "You're kidding," I whispered. Her voice came out shaky and angry. "You think you can just buy your dream car and act like I never mattered?" I looked at the door. There was a fresh, ugly line scratched into the paint. Short, but deep. My stomach dropped, then steadied into something colder. "Did you really come here to damage my property?" I asked. She lifted her chin, trying to turn shame into power. "You damaged my life." "That's insane," I said. "You cheated. You filed. You moved in with him before the papers were signed." Her eyes flashed. "And now you're thriving. It's not fair." A guy by the entrance slowed down, watching. Someone inside the gym pressed their face to the glass. Rachel saw the eyes on her and snapped, "Stop staring." I pulled out my phone. "Smile." Her breath hitched. "What are you doing?" "Documenting," I said, voice flat. "Because I'm not cleaning up your tantrum." She lunged forward and grabbed at my wrist. "Delete it." The guy from the entrance stepped in. "Ma'am, back off." Rachel spun on him. "Mind your business." He didn't move. "It became my business when you started grabbing him." Rachel looked around, realized she had an audience, witnesses, and absolutely no control. Her voice dropped to a desperate whisper. "Please, just don't." I was mad. I stared at the scratch, then at her. "You didn't come to talk. You came to hurt me." A siren wailed somewhere far off. Maybe coincidence, maybe not. But Rachel flinched like it was already for her. I didn't chase her when she ran to her car. I just stood there, phone recording, my dream car humming quietly, and watched her peel out of the parking lot like guilt had a license plate. Story 20. She saw my dream car at the valet stand. And that's when she tried her favorite trick, reclaiming a life she already burned down. I was picking up takeout from a nice hotel restaurant, treating myself, nothing crazy, when I heard my name like a slap. "Jared?" I turned and there she was. My ex-wife, Alina, dressed up, lipstick perfect, eyes locking onto the car key in my hand. She walked up smiling like she'd rehearsed it. "That's your dream car, right? The one you used to talk about?" "Yep," I said. Her gaze flicked to the valet, then back to me. "So you're doing great." The valet handed me a ticket. Alina leaned closer, voice low. "Listen, my car's in the shop. Can you just let me take yours for a quick errand? For old times?" I blinked. "No." She laughed like I was being playful. "Come on. Don't be petty." "I'm not petty," I said. "I'm protective." Her smile tightened. "You're still punishing me." Then she did something so bold it almost impressed me. She turned to the valet and said confidently, "Hi, he's with me. Bring our car around." The valet looked at me. I looked at him back. It's not ours. Alina's face stayed smiling, but her eyes went sharp. Jared, I held up the key fob. He's not bringing anything to you. The valet nodded slowly. Sir, your vehicle will be up in a moment. Alina's voice went icy. You're embarrassing me. You tried to steal my car in front of strangers, I said, loud enough for the couple waiting behind her to hear. You embarrassed yourself. Her cheeks flushed. She grabbed my wrist like she used to when she wanted me to stop being difficult. Give me the keys. I stepped back. Don't touch me. A security guard near the doors glanced over. Alina saw him and instantly changed her tone, sweet and wounded. He's being aggressive. I laughed. One sharp sound. Aggressive is you putting your hands on me. The security guard walked over. Ma'am, is there a problem? Alina's mouth opened, and for once, her script had no line for witnesses. My car rolled up to the curb. The valet held the door open. I got in, looked at her one last time and said, you don't get to borrow my piece. As I pulled away, I saw her standing under the hotel lights, frozen, like she'd just realized the dream car wasn't the main loss. It was access to me. Story 21. I didn't plan for her to see it. I planned to avoid her for the rest of my life. But our mutual friend decided to throw a small gathering that turned into a full reunion of people who still thought they had opinions about my divorce. I pulled up in my dream car, parked around the corner, and walked in like nothing happened. 10 minutes later, someone yelled, "Whose car is that outside?" Like we were all 12 years old. The room shifted. Heads turned. And then, like a shark smelling blood, my ex-wife Kendra appeared at my elbow. Tell me that's not yours, she said, smiling too hard. I took a sip of beer. It's mine. Her face did this micro-twitch. Envy trying to wear a friendly mask. So you've been hiding money? I laughed. No. I've been hiding peace. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. You know people are talking, right? They're saying you were broke with me but rich without me. I looked around. Half the room was pretending not to listen. They're not wrong. Kendra's eyes flashed. That's disgusting. No, I said. What's disgusting is you calling me a safe option in front of your friends while I paid for your life. Her smile vanished. You're still stuck on that? I'm not stuck, I replied. I'm healed enough to say it out loud. She swallowed, then went for the angle that always used to work. Guilt. My rent went up. I'm struggling. If you can afford a car like that, you can help. The audacity hit me like cold water. You mean sponsor you again? She shrugged, almost proud. We were family. I pointed toward the window. Family doesn't leave and then show up with an invoice. Kendra's voice sharpened. So you're just going to drive around in that and let me suffer? I smiled politely. You wanted me to be the lesson you never regret. Sorry. I'm the upgrade you didn't expect. The room went silent for a beat. Then someone coughed. Kendra's cheeks burned. She spun away, announcing loudly, I don't care, like a person who definitely cared. When I left, I didn't peel out. I didn't rev. I just drove away. While her voice faded behind me like a bad song, I finally stopped replaying. Story 22. My ex-wife saw my dream car on the day she tried to rebrand herself as my friend. It was our old coffee shop, the one she used to drag me to so she could post photos and pretend we were a perfect couple. I went in because nostalgia is a liar and their cinnamon rolls are undefeated. I walked out with a bag and there she was, standing next to my car with her phone out like she was about to take a selfie. Oh my God, she squealed. This is perfect. Ethan, can we take a picture? Like, look how well we co-parent vibes. I froze. What? She smiled brightly. Come on. People love a healthy ex story. I looked around. Two strangers were watching. A barista paused mid-sweep. My ex-wife, Julia, had that influencer energy. Like reality only mattered if it could be posted. You can't just stand by my car, I said. She pouted. It's just a picture. It's not just a picture, I replied. It's you pretending you didn't spend years calling my dreams cringe. Her smile slipped. Why are you being mean? I laughed. Mean? You're using my life as content. Julia waved her phone. Everyone thinks you're the victim. I'm just trying to show we're okay. I leaned closer, voice low. We are okay. I'm okay. You are on my hood. She rolled her eyes. Fine. Be dramatic. But wow, you really bought it. Must be nice being selfish. Selfish, I said. You cheated, moved in with him, then asked me to stay friends so you wouldn't feel guilty. Her face went pale. Don't say that. You said the quiet part out loud, I continued. Loud enough for the strangers to hear. You didn't want friendship. You wanted forgiveness without accountability. Julia's lips trembled. Her phone lowered slowly like it got heavy with shame. For a second, I almost felt bad. Then she whispered, So you have money for a car but you couldn't buy me a ring that big. I stared at her, stunned. That's what you took from this? She swallowed. I opened my car door. Julia, You're still bargaining with the wrong currency. I got in and drove away while she stood there holding her phone like it had betrayed her, because for once, she couldn't edit the moment. Story 23. The dream car didn't bring her back. The threat of someone else enjoying it did. I was leaving a car meet. Nothing crazy, just guys talking about engines like it's therapy. When I saw her across the lot, my ex-wife Bree, standing behind a group of people like she'd blended in on purpose. I should have left immediately. Instead, I froze like a deer that recognized the hunter. She stepped forward, eyes bright. I knew it was you. I nodded once. Bree. She walked around the car slowly, fingertips hovering like she wanted to touch but didn't want to get rejected. This is insane. You actually did it. I did, I said. Her smile trembled. So, you're happy? I almost said yes, but happiness around her always turned into a debate. I'm peaceful, I corrected. Bree laughed, breathy. You always had to be so noble. Then she glanced at the crowd. Do they know you're divorced? I frowned. What? She leaned closer. I just mean, you look like you have it all together. Like I didn't break you. There it was. Her real fear. Not that I was happy. That I was happy without paying the price she expected. A girl from the meet walked up, friendly, holding 2 waters. Hey, I grabbed you. Bree's head snapped to her. Who's that? The girl looked confused. Friend? Bree's smile sharpened. Friend. Right. The girl offered me a water. I took it, thanked her, and Bree's eyes flicked to my hand like she was counting intimacy. Bree turned back to me, voice low. So you replaced me? I laughed. You replaced yourself. Remember? With your coworker. She flinched. That was complicated. No, I said. It was convenient. Bree's eyes got glossy. I didn't think you'd level up. I stared at her. You wanted me to stay as proof you made the right choice. She swallowed hard. Then said the sentence that still makes my skin crawl. I could come back. We could try again. I shook my head. My dream car isn't a time machine. Bree's face tightened, and she looked around like she might scream. But the crowd was watching, and she cared too much about being seen as the good guy. So she smiled and whispered, You'll regret saying no. I leaned in. I already regretted saying yes. Then I got in my car, drove off, and watched her in the mirror standing alone under the parking lot lights like a plot twist she didn't control. Story 24. My ex-wife saw my dream car when she came to collect the last of her stuff. She'd been dragging it out for months. Little oops I forgot visits. Always finding reasons to step inside like she missed the house, or me, or control. I finally told her, one final pickup. Bring boxes. Bring a friend. Make it clean. She showed up with her cousin and an attitude. Then she saw the car in the driveway. She stopped mid-step. Is that yours? I nodded. Yep. She stared like she'd found a secret door in a game. How did you? I stopped paying for your cousin's loan repayments, I said, glancing at the cousin next to her. The cousin coughed. My ex's face tightened. Don't start. She walked up, trying to hide the shake in her voice. So you can afford this. But you were stressed when we were together. I opened the front door. I was stressed because I was married to someone who treated my paycheck like community property for her whole family. She snapped. That's not fair. I shrugged. It's accurate. Her cousin, uncomfortable, mumbled. We can just grab the stuff. My ex ignored him, eyes locked on the car. You're doing this to hurt me. I laughed. You hurt yourself. I'm just no longer cushioning the fall. She stepped closer, voice low. So you're really done? I paused. I've been done. You just didn't believe me because I used to come running. She clenched her jaw, then tried to take control the only way she knew, by rewriting the narrative. You were never supportive of my dreams. I looked at her, then at the boxes. Your dreams were always paid for by my reality. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Her cousin tugged her sleeve. Let's go. She backed away like the air around me burned. And as she loaded her last box into the trunk, she glanced at the car one more time, like she was memorizing the shape of the life she thought she'd keep through guilt. When they finally left, my driveway felt bigger. Not because of the car, because it was empty of her.